Shalom. So the president of Iran regularly says his goal is to destroy Israel, end Israel's existence. What are you going to do with 6 million Jews? He wants to annihilate them like the Holocaust. And how much of the world condemns that? Applauded in much of the world. So the head of a sovereign state sitting on one of the world's largest reserves of oil and natural gas wants nuclear power. For what reason? Well, to develop nuclear weapons. And he's got missiles right now that can reach anywhere in Israel and Europe, and pretty soon the United States. So anybody who thinks this is just a problem for Israel is got their head buried in the sand. This guy clearly is going to develop nuclear weapons. They're probably a year away from all the scientists, and every day you read in the paper that he's got more enriched uranium and they're working on developing progress. So what's the West doing about it? What are we going to do to protect ourselves from this lunatic? Well, right now we're trying economic sanctions, and the number one priority is if you have any investments, call your broker and make sure that none of them are invested in Iran. That is the top priority. You got to use economic leverage to see if the people of Iran can realize that they're sitting on a time bomb here, that the lunatics who are in control want to develop nuclear weapons and either give them to terrorists. Just imagine that for a minute. I mean, they're already spreading terror all over the world. They're pulling the strings in many terrorist groups and funding them and training them. And now nuclear weapons attached to missiles that can reach Israel, Europe, and pretty soon the United States. And then you have to ask yourself, what happens if these economic incentives don't work, like they're evidently working in North Korea, we hope? What do you do then? Do you let Iran develop nuclear weapons to put on missiles that can reach New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, just a few years away from that, or to give dirty bombs to terrorists throughout the world? Just think about that for a minute, the consequences. What issue could possibly be more important to the survival and security of you and your home than that issue?